Alright, so I am driving about an hour and a half. Guy on the side of the road here. In a Tesla! What's wrong with this Tesla? Anyways, I'm driving about an hour and a half to go pick up a copy of Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. I'm picking that up for my wife for Christmas. And I figured it's worth the drive rather than picking up a copy on like eBay that I can't see in person before I buy it. And really, by the time I buy one on eBay and pay shipping, it's going to cost about the same price as this one, including the cost of gas. But yeah, I'm just picking up a loose copy of Mario RPG as I have plans for the rest of the package, as I will show you. I haven't been to this city in a while, and I don't think I've ever really been there for, like, going there specifically. Like, I've maybe driven through it. But again, picking up Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. Well, I got it. The back's not in the greatest of shape. It would have been nice if I showed that in the pictures before I drove an hour and a half out here to get it. But whatever. I've seen other ones on eBay in about this condition for the same price, if not a little bit more. So I did okay on this. I didn't pay too much for it. The front label's in really good shape, and he swears it's legit, so I'll take his word for it. I mean, if it was a repro or something, I wouldn't think you'd use a shitty looking back like that. So it's probably real. I got my Super Nintendo hooked up to the retro tank. Pop this in and see if she works. Nothing on the screen so far. Cartridge might need a cleaning. I don't know. Sometimes it takes a second for the retro tank to kick in, but the light did turn red. Like it's green when the Super Nintendo's off, so it's getting a signal from the Super Nintendo anyways, so that's working. Oh, that was weird. Yeah, kind of something. Well, that doesn't seem to be working, so let's open up the cartridge and take a look at it. Maybe you guys can tell me if it looks legit, if it needs a cleaning, and then maybe if it looks legit and I can get it working, we'll see if I can, if I have a donor, some shitty game I don't care about, we can swap the back. Like I said, the back of that looks really shitty, and what are the chances that the back of it looks that bad and the front label's perfect? Yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to have some questions. You see the gap there at the top? I don't know. What do you think? Is this label legit? The printing on it's really damn good. If it is a fake label, it's really well done. So, but, is it a fake PCB inside? Let's pop it open and see if you guys can tell. Here we go. I don't know, it looks legit to me, but honestly, I wouldn't know if some of the clone boards, it does say Nintendo 1995. It's got the Nintendo SA1 chip. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Super Mario RPG here actually uses an enhancement chip. So it's got the SA1 processor on the board, and that's why it has on the far edges of the edge connector, it's got the two extra power and data, similar to a Super FX game. If you've ever looked in the cartridge, on most Super Nintendo games they just have the center connection bit, and on games that have the expansion chips, usually we think of the Super FX chip games, like Star Fox, they'll have these extra bits on the sides. So, I don't know. Looks okay to me. That label, though, like I said, I don't know. Maybe it's just a redone label, or maybe, honestly, maybe that gap's normal. What do you guys think? Does that gap look normal? Don't know. Anyways, the contacts don't look that... Oh, well, yeah, they're pretty dirty. Let me clean this up, and then we'll try it again. Was it missing... Oh, maybe not. He's only got one. The little ground prong that, like, touches the edge of the outside of the connector there. I thought it was missing one, but... Well, maybe it is. Missing one? Yeah, it's missing one, isn't it? It didn't fall out when I opened it. I don't think it did. So I think it's missing. Oh, that's the back piece anyways. Ah. So again, I'm going to try and find a nicer looking back piece anyways. So if that's part of the back piece, then that'll fix that. The big thing is, will this work? Let's clean it and give it another test. I don't have one of those like white erase. I probably do somewhere. My wife probably has one somewhere, or at least she would know where it is. But she's not around right now. Again, this is her Christmas present. This is just alcohol. Normally I would go for 99%, but this is 70%. Again, that's what I have. I had all my 99% in a glass jar, and I dropped that jar the other day. And, yeah, it just... all went smashy, and then evaporated pretty quick. I mean, something's coming off, I guess. A little dirty, but... Yeah, I think the white eraser trick would probably work better, but hey, whatever. Let's, how was that in there? I think that was in there like that, wasn't it? I'm not gonna screw it back together, I'm just gonna... There we go. Well, that's a relief. Grab the controller here, and we'll hit start. And we'll see if it has Mario 1, Mario 2. Yeah, it looks like it has. Mono stereo. It looks like it has save games. Oh, there's 4 slots. Is that 4? Why is only one show? I don't know if that's 4 saves or if just this one has a save. There's a save there regardless, so the battery's probably good. I didn't really look at the battery, did I? Like, does it look like the battery's ever been changed? It looks pretty old. The battery does look pretty old, but still saving. There's a gap there. Is that normal? The solder joints don't look like they've ever been redone. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I would say that's probably the original battery, in which case it probably should be changed. We'll see. I think I have some of those batteries, so I might end up changing that. And then, like I said, let's see what donor cartridge I can find for this. So I grabbed the donor cartridge. This is Pit Fighter, and the back's in fairly good shape, so I thought, oh, that's great. But I realized, well, the first thing, it doesn't have... Where's the back for... Oh, that's the front. Here's the back. So you see how there's two things sticking up because that's where it's cut for the gap, the keys in that. But it's cut for these two extra bits. And when I looked in here, you see there's no, that's, if you look at the back piece dictates whether or not the gap's there for those two extra contact pieces to come through. At first I was like, oh, that's not a big deal. I mean, I could cut those out or sand them down or something. But then I also noticed, so this has this like metal thing that grounds the cartridge to the metal of the cartridge slot, and then that's like spring loaded right there, and that touches on, see those pads, and it actually kind of looks like only the pad on the left maybe did have, yeah, so that touches that pad there. So it's like grounding the cartridge to the cartridge slot. Maybe that's just because this has the extra chip and there's more power going through the cartridge. I don't know. Because again, inside here, it doesn't have that metal thing. I just thought they all had that. So, it's kind of a bust. I don't know. Yeah, that's not going to be easy to... You know what? Fuck it. We'll just leave that back one on there. I mean, you could probably swap that sticker. Maybe someone sells aftermarket like stickers for that. But not a big deal. I mean, honestly, the main thing obviously is that it's working now. For a second there, I thought it wasn't going to work. Make a liar out of me. Yeah. The main important thing is it's working. The front looks really good. Again, whether that's a original label or not, it's hard to believe. Again, if this label got chewed up that badly, how is that label absolutely mint? So I don't know. But again, like, the printing on it's really good. If it is an aftermarket label. So honestly, that's fine. I don't really care if it's authentic. As long as the PCB, like the PCB board looks like it's original. If it was some really bad looking Chinese PCB, that you'd be maybe worried about like reliability. That's one thing, but it looks like it's the original PCB in there. And if that's not original, it's not the end of the world, because actually, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's another part to this, which I'll show you now. All right, and now for the final part of the plan. I mentioned several times that I had a little more to go along with this, and maybe you had that figured out. What I'm talking about is a reproduction box and a reproduction manual. And the quality on this is superb. The quality of this print, it's top notch. So that's very nice to have the manual and the box. And you know, obviously it's not real, and it's not gonna hold its value like the real, you know, complete version would. But you know, I have no issue with reproduction boxes for my own personal use. You know, to me, it's just, if it's a game I like, really, when it comes down to it, it's just shelf candy. It's something on the shelf that I enjoy looking at, and the reproduction box will accomplish that. Again, the quality on this one is pretty damn good. Obviously, if you were, you know, a professional collector, you'd be able to tell that. Well, you know, in this case, it's not even like they're trying to fake it. That's, you know, not a sticker or something. That's printed right over where the UPC code would be, and that's like an advertisement for the person that made this. So they're not trying to fake it. I mean, right away you would notice that, and it's very obvious that it's not, the original box. It's a reproduction. And again, that's fine. I'm never going to sell this. So for me, again, just sitting on a shelf and enjoying looking at this, it accomplishes the same thing as the real as the real box would. And as a gift, I think it's great to have it complete instead of just a loose cartridge. Someone who's never played the game before, they're going to have the manual. And it fits in here quite nicely. It'll get past the little the lip on this side, if you know what I'm saying. There we go. So that all closed up. Gonna make a great gift. It's again, for my purposes, for our purposes, again, this is gonna be a Christmas present for my wife, who is a big fan of RPGs, played all the Final Fantasies, played, Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo, but never played this one. And so it'll be fun, just for me even to watch her play, maybe help out when she gets stuck in certain parts if I notice something. Not like she'll need my help when it comes to RPGs. But yeah, again, the quality on this is pretty damn good. Quality of the print, the really small print's all legible. And yeah, this was, again, done by someone in Canada. I bought it on Etsy. And again, it was $20 for the box with the inner sleeve part and this plastic cover, and 17, I think, or 16. It was $16 for the manual. So I paid $100 for the loose cartridge, and then I paid, roughly, we'll just call it $40 for everything else. So we're looking at $140 right here. This game, complete in box in Canada, sells for anywhere between like $350 and $400 Canadian. So, I mean, I saved like what, $250 or something like that off the top of my head. Yeah, so it's a big savings. And again, I'm never going to sell this. I don't care about the value. Obviously, it doesn't hold the value that the real box and manual would hold. But again, I didn't buy this to sell it. I bought this because it's a Christmas present, and it's not something I'm going to sell. It's not something we're going to sell. And again, when that's just sitting on a shelf to look at, it does the same thing as the real box. I have no issue with reproduction boxes. I've said that before. The only issue I have with them is if someone's trying to sell it and pass it off as the real thing. That's shady, and I would never do that. And with these ones, and I think most of the reproduction boxes that I have, I've got a few, there's something on it that's obvious. There's somewhere where it says, this is a reproduction, or, they've done that on the UPC code. That's fine with me. Again, for looking at this on the shelf, that doesn't affect anything. But to me, that kind of prevents someone trying to pass this off as a real box. If you were spending $400 on this, you would probably, if it wasn't this, something else that you could check. I'm sure, again, a professional collector would just look at the cardboard and they would know that it's fake. But yeah, if you're trying to pass the reproduction boxes, reproduction cartridges off as the real thing and get full value for it, that's shady and it's wrong. But again, I'm never going to sell this. And so I've always said I've got no issue with reproduction boxes. I think they're awesome, to be honest. And I may pick up more in the future from this specifically again from this seller on Etsy is because they're done in Canada and the shipping was quick and the quality on it is awesome. So they had a lot of boxes and they're all very well rated. So yeah, I'll probably be picking up more of these in the future.